So this week it is very me-centric. This is one that I've kind of been thinking about doing for a while, and I didn't have a better idea this week. I want to do a Helldiver's primary weapon tier list, but I don't have everything yet, and there's a new battle pass coming. So holding off on that. Spoiler alert for the future. So this is a fairly comprehensive list of all of the characters I have, like, quote-unquote mained in all of the games that I've kind of cared about, or tried to be good at. There are a few on here that I didn't include, like Punch Planet and Third Strike and Yatagarasu, like that I never really took seriously. Turn off attribution. Boop. There we go. But yeah, and then the tier list we're working with is carried versus uncarried. So did the character carry me? Did we both put in work, or was the character just not worth playing and I'm an idiot? Totally possible. You never know. Oh yeah, in the chat, Dreaded saying stacked week. Yes, Slashback plus 2 other like weeklies and monthlies and like just wow. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it to Saturday of Slashback, but hoping to maybe make it on Sunday. Check it out. Cool. So probably easy to start with like the kind of the currents. So Kimberly, I don't think Kimberly's that bad. She is lacking, but she is scary. She definitely doesn't give you anything for free. So I think Kimberly in Street Fighter 6 is straight up both put in work tier. You can do some stupid paint can setups and all that, but ultimately there is parry in the game. So there's only so much mixing you can do. Her normals are decent. She has some fun buttons and fun setups and things like that, but she's good. She's not great. She's not bad. So I think that's pretty solidly and both put in work tier. Ooh, Dreaded trying to get ahead. I don't agree with everything Dreaded is saying, but wait, I said I was starting with current games. So Brian, both in Tekken 7 and Tekken 8, I think you both have to put in work. I think he's very good, but he doesn't have free like 50-50s off of button strings, and so you actually have to work for the 50-50s. Obviously, like taunt, jet upper, taunt, back 4 are bullshit, but you have to be able to do them. I can't do them yet. It's not free. It is a skill that you have to work on. But he does crazy damage. His wall pressure is scary. Like he's straightforward. He gets results. So I think you both have to put in work, but totally fine. And that's in 7 and 8. And then yeah, transitioning into 7th, Dreaded is correct. Where is she? Oops. Nope. Oh, tier list. What's happening? Oh, something's not happy. Yeah, Kunimitsu is like fucking Fisher Price training wheels, like so fucking easy. 114 is like the most degenerate frame trap string of your life. Her damage is good. She has stances and mix-ups and all sorts of things. The only thing like difficult about her is she has a lot of stances and things to worry about, but just her basic tools are so good. She has the Noctis, teleport, projectile, normal. Like I wish I'd be able to do that. She's very good, top tier. She got nerfed a little bit, but I think Arslan was still playing her at the end of Tekken 7's lifespan, so like totally good. The Kuni in Tekken 8, I think, is Victor. I think you play Victor if you were like a diehard Kuni player, because Gunshot is very similar. You could also maybe play Raven, but I don't actually know enough about Raven to know if he's similar or not. But God, Kuni was so good, so easy. Going back to current gen, May from Guilty Gear Strive. I think you have to both put in work, especially as the game has gotten crazier and crazier, and Wild Assault has given more people more of what May does, and her updates haven't been as meaningful. Obviously, Slash just had a really good performance at Arc Revo Tour, so she is good. I'm not sure how many people in the Discord are just fucking with me, or how many people actually think she's like top tier. She is good. She does crazy damage, but so many characters have caught up to her. I think you both have to put in work. Her game plan is pretty straightforward, but ultimately she's just a pretty basic charge character. None of the combos are too crazy. And then so Xrd, I'm not really as confident in putting. She may actually be maybe carried tier in Xrd, but you do have to work on dolphin cancels, which are non-trivial. It is like a tech that you have to work on. She is cool. She has way more fun stuff in Xrd. The reason I picked her up is because grounded normals are air unblockable. And so if you caught someone jumping with her 2H, it was 2H up dolphin, 2H up dolphin. That was like a third to a half of their health, depending on guts and where you were. But then again, she is not. She was. Xrd was crazy, but she had dolphin cancels and a way better beach ball and crazy damage. Yeah, I'm not an Xrd. She might actually be in like carry me status. Saying that 2H just deletes people is kind of absurd. I could not do a lot of that stuff, but she's dope. She's a lot of fun in Xrd, and I wish she had a little bit more of that in Strive. But I still like May's iteration in Strive. She's good. Let's see what else here. Where do I want to go? Well, yeah, we'll work backwards to 5. So okay? Dreaded says Laura is carried. I actually like super disagree. Her EX clap being +2 and then leading into kind of just a basic ass mix up for 1 meter was not really anything that special. As soon as people started being able to react to command dash mix ups, she got a lot less real. The cross under mix ups again are very real, but you had to spend a meter for it versus characters with much more degenerate game plans. There was a time where stand medium kick was 5 frames and she was fucked up. Like, no joke. Amazing character, so good. She got nerfed a little bit here and there, and like it was never quite the same. And then at the end of Street Fighter's lifespan, once we got V Shift, all grapplers, not just Laura, all grapplers got hit so much that like I really didn't enjoy playing her that much anymore. It was not good. So there were definitely points in Street Fighter V's life where maybe Laura would have been in carried me tier, but really you had to pilot her correctly. You had to know all of the setups. You had to know the V trigger stuff, like what the frame advantages ended up being, all of that. IDOM really carried that character. It was not a like Laura's not a problem. IDOM is a problem. I will die on that hill, but I'm gonna say both put in work. She definitely had some scrub killer bullshit, but at higher levels, like she was not as scary as some of the other casts. So I don't think she was, I call me a down player. I don't think she was carried me here. Call me a down player. I don't give a fuck. You're not on camera. I am. What up? Where's my other? There we go. Cool. So also in Street Fighter 5, Gil. I love Gil. He's a lot of fun to play. He has serious problems, and he's not really worth like maining. But as a secondary that you take kind of seriously, he's a lot of fun. Great. Like he has the really interesting retribution system instead of crush counters, which is a weird choice to take crush counters away from him. But like he has the fun combo structure that eventually ended up being boiled down into like, here's what you do. But there was still some on the fly things you could do and like conversions and things like that. He's not bad. He just really wasn't worth playing, unfortunately, especially when Urina was so dominant for so long. But a lot of fun. I still really like him. I think he was probably my second most played by the end of the lifespan. Also in Street Fighter 5, I had a fling with Manat. She was a lot of work. To get the most out of her, she had some of the hardest combos in the game. But at the base level, her normals were crazy. She had some pretty good frame data. You could go easy mode with the other V trigger at a certain point and get away with some cheaper stuff. So I think you both had to put in work. But her ceiling was incredibly high. I never got to that ceiling. I picked her up as a pocket for someone else at work, thinking she would be better into the Guile matchup than Laura, which was a miserable matchup. But ultimately, I think she wasn't overpowered. The best of the best made her look absolutely disgusting, but ultimately you did have to work for it because she had some of the harder combos of the game. Yeah, going back to Dreaded, yeah, Sub-Zero. I played MKX for Mate or 11. I think it was 11 for like not that much. I just learned the Sub-Zero 50/50 and could take games off of people. He's stupid easy. It's either slide or not slide, like whatever, man. I'm not an NRS player, but yes, Sub-Zero 1000% carried me in my lazy attempt at being able to play that at the office with people. It wasn't fun for anyone. I didn't enjoy it. They didn't enjoy it. It's bad. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Fong already got to the crux of a lot of this, all the uni characters. So definitely not worth a squeeze. This category was originally called Made Me Actively Hate the Game I Was Playing, but I realized that was just for these three characters. So first was Carmine. I tried to learn Carmine in Uni 1, right? Whatever we were playing at the time. He uses his own health, and he's really set up heavy, and he just like wasn't that good despite using his own health. Unlike like a lot of times those characters are kind of overtuned to make up for using their own health. June in Tekken. So Carmine, I was like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna pick a different character. Then I saw that Batista had reverse charge inputs. So she has an up to down charge, not a down to up charge like a Guile flash kick, an up to down charge. And I was like, that sounds like fun. And then on top of that, she has negative edge. So fuck me. I'm not like my execution is okay. I can't do that, but I thought I could. So I spent a lot of time trying to make Batista work. Ended up giving up. Then I went to Yuzuriha because I thought stances are cool and swords are cool. And then you find out that her B and Bs are absurd. Just like very quick. A lot of actions quickly, like all of the time. You're always buffering. She has some tech. I forget what it is. It's on the stance. You go stance / and then there's a thing you do. Anyway, she's again very complicated. Under Night was not a game I was taking super seriously, but I thought she was cool. I like the stance. I like the big sword. Yeah, she takes time to learn, and I just didn't have the drive to master her, and my execution maybe wasn't up to par. Which then brought me to, we finally ran a tournament for We Take Those, and I wanted to participate, so I picked up a grappler. And I think Mika is just stupid and fun, and I made up some combos, and she got me like second or third. So pretty fun. Little girl, big grappler, big fists. She has like rocket jumps and stuff. So she got me where I needed to be, without feeling like I was being too basic, playing like Akatsuki or something. So that's where I finally wound up on Uni. If I end up picking up Unicycle, I will probably pick up the Shield guy because he seems fun, but we'll see. But yeah, Uni really wasn't good. Finally asking who got first in the Uni tourney. I don't remember. It was probably you, as the resident Uni head. But I did get second or third, and I felt a little bad about it because I barely play that game. Anyway, we'll go next to the weird ones. So this one takes some explanation. I've played a couple teams in Dragon Ball Fighters, but I always have Krillin as point. He's my guy. It's funny. It's stupid. He has Destructo Disc, which I think is one of the coolest games in Dragon Ball. He's great. For most of the life of Dragon Ball, he was not good. He is now apparently one of the best assists in the game, so this is a little skewed. But he just he got power crept so quickly with DLC and stuff. But I love him. He's just like Gil, where like he wasn't worth playing, but I love him so much. One of his moves is throwing rocks in a Dragon Ball game. Everyone else is throwing key blasts and like command grabs and like teleports. No, homie just throws a rock. Like fuck you. Like Anyway, Krillin's great. He is worth the squeeze because he's great and he's actually really good now. Fong saying, put some respect on Yamcha. Yeah, Yamcha was like really hot for a moment. I think he had a recent. I think there's like a patch where Yamcha is really good too. But again, it's a little weird because it's a team game and he's 1/3 of the team. But Krillin has always been my like absolutely must-have point character, I always start with Krillin. He is my man. So kudos to him. He's not worth playing. Well, he wasn't worth playing, but he's the best. He is now worth playing 100%. Next, I didn't go too deep in this game, but I do think Udana, she was my also like always include in Battle for the Grid, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Kind of like Sub-Zero, she has a freeze state, so you can get some really easy combo conversions. You just throw out the freeze ball. If it hits, you get whatever combo you want. She has some really good normals. But yeah, mostly it's just because the freeze state gives you an extra juggle state that other characters might not have access to. A lot of characters have various special juggle states, but hers is super straightforward. It freezes them. You have all the time in the world. So shout outs to Udana for carrying me through that game. I wound up getting into like gold or something and then kind of moving on from that game. Mostly I just needed to be able to beat my brother at it. So I did that. I think my team was like Udana, Ryu, Shiba at the end. But regardless, shout outs to ice characters. I love them. They're the best. We'll just go next for like characters that I didn't really spend a ton of time with, or games that I didn't, really fall in love with. Arya, I think in Killer Instinct is good, and a lot of her stances, you switch out components, are quite good. But I do think you have to put some work in with her. You can get left without some important tools if you let your various stances die. They each have different health. So you can lose, like, she has one that's just a big sword on her arm. Like, you can lose that, and then you lose your DP. It's like, it's interesting. But I mostly played Killer Instinct out of spite. So if I'm wrong on this, like, don't hold it against me. But I do think you had to put some work in with Arya despite some very strong tools and some very degenerate tools. But you still had to manage 3 stances, various health bars, all this stuff. So I think she was balanced well in a game of, like, ridiculous characters. So Arya is super cool. Definitely motivated me to play that game a little bit and, like, figure out some fun stuff. Because she's a cool robot lady and her knee is a shotgun. Let me repeat that. Her knee is a shotgun. It's pretty cool, if you ask me. But yeah, I did make my life harder. I could have played Jago and just been Ryu, like whatever. But for some reason, Arya spoke to me. I don't remember why. Okay, so this is a tough one. I don't know BlazBlue well enough. I think Rachel is actually top tier, but at my level, she wasn't good, and I didn't know how to use her unique action. So just to play it safe, I'm going to say both put in work. I haven't really picked one up since I've gotten, I'm not going to say good, better at fighting games, like more competent. But I mostly played BlazBlue in college. I didn't really know what I was doing. Headset died again. What is, it's plugged in. How are you dying? Anyway, I like tricky trap characters. You can set the pillars up that then get electrified. You have the frog that hops across the screen. Like, I love all that kind of dumb projectile shit. Her wind combos, I think, are somewhat challenging. Yeah, I'm sure she can be OP at high levels because of the her special ability brings wind in and it affects both characters. So anytime you can influence the other character's movement or whatever, like, that's always strong. But she definitely didn't carry me because I still could barely beat the people I was playing with. Assuming I even did. But that is, for some reason, I liked the little vampire gothic girl in BlazBlue. Bang is also cool because he's like a Power Ranger, but again, for whatever reason, Rachel spoke to me. Maybe I'm a little gothic Lolita girl on the inside. Who knows? The world will never know. Where do I want it? Okay, we'll end on my like first true love. So we're gonna go Nightmare. In Soul Calibur 2 specifically. Soul Calibur 2, Nightmare's a fucking beast. Before they split him off into Siegfried and Nightmare, which is bullshit, because Siegfried got enough of the good moves that Nightmare is now not as much fun. Nightmare just hit you like 3 times and you were just done in Soul Calibur 2. My brother got me, he won a Platinum Nintendo GameCube that I still have somewhere over there in a Donkey Konga contest that like Hollywood Video or Blockbuster put on. He already had a GameCube. So he won a rhythm game contest won a GameCube and gave it to me for Christmas or my birthday. I forget. And then I went to Circuit City? No, Comp USA. I went to Comp USA and bought Soul Calibur 2 and played it for like 2 weeks straight. It was the only game I had for the system. And I fucking loved Nightmare. Nightmare and Link were my boy. So Soul Calibur 2 Nightmare has a special place in my heart. He hits like a truck. The move where you stab through him and then flip him over is like great for just cheesing people out over the ledge. It's just great. I don't actually know if he's like top tier or anything in that game, but if you're just playing casually with your friends in high school like I was, he's a monster. Until someone picks Maxi and just mashes buttons, but he's great. Love him. Soul Calibur 2, special place in my heart. Have not spent as much time with any further Soul Calibur 2. But yeah, put Siegfried and Nightmare back into one. The split is bullshit. I need all those moves in one guy. Next, fairly recent. This is original Granblue, not Granblue Rising, because I believe she is no longer that good. Make very good again, please. I don't want to learn a new character. Fairy, definitely. Like, she is Dulcim on steroids. Her normals were absurd. She had fairly easy Oki setups with Gigi, her little cat that goes out and shocks you. She has a DP. So a zoner with a DP is like awesome. Love it. Give me more. So she was really good in vanilla and even like mid-life Granblue. I think she did fall off towards the end of original Granblue, and I don't think she's good in Rising right now. I think she just got power crept too much. But at launch or whatever, like, Fairy was fucking good, man. And her Oki was not hard to set up or follow through with. You could just throw out the DP when you needed it, or she has the hula hoop move. She like whips around her, and like it was safe on block as a get off me tool or a really safe combo ender. So Fairy definitely carried me. There were some other good characters in that game. Like, she was not the only good character, but she absolutely was like a cheat code for getting some wins early on in the Granblue life cycle. Pretty much people had to know how to spot dodge and roll, or I don't know what it's called, but the forward dodge, and to get in on you. Otherwise, you just anti-air them all day, and like they can't do shit. It was great. Great character. Had a lot of fun. So finally, the character that I took seriously for the first time I started going to tournaments and all of that, is Street Fighter 4 Ibuki. I did experiment with some other characters, but I think she's the only one I would really consider, like, that's who I did. This is similar to Laura, so I think you both have to put in work. She did have some of the most bullshit vortex in the game, which came and went through various patches. Via Ultra with delayed tech, you no longer had a guaranteed nigh unblockable setup. So at the end of the life, she was weaker, but she was always considered a theoretical top tier. But really, Sakonoko was the only... Sako was the only person doing anything with her. And part of that is because her B&B and Samuji loops required a one-frame link. And it was on Light Punch, which you couldn't plink under normal circumstances. You had to modify your stick to have select to do the slink on a different button or something like that. So she had weird limitations that some other characters didn't have. Nothing in her kit was like crazy overpowered. She wasn't like a evil Ryu level of dominant or a Seth, anything like that. But she had a theoretical ceiling that was insane. And Sakonoko did do quite well with her, but he never won like an Evo or anything. So she was a theoretical top tier, but even at her base level, she had some really good tools. Back medium punch was an incredible anti-air. She had a DP. She had EX neckbreaker, which beat fireballs. So I always looked at her as kind of like a Shoto killer. So it was nice, like, if I went up against a Ryu of middling ability, you just, anytime they throw a fireball, you EX neckbreaker, you throw on some Oki, all that, like, you're fine. She was good. She wasn't great. And she had a theoretical top tier ceiling that was a lot of fun to play. And yeah, just kind of like Laura, where only Idom really did anything with her. Really, Sako was the only Ibuki player doing anything of note, whereas a bunch of people had like pocket evil Ryus and things like that. So I think that's kind of where I come up. So from this, I would say I tend to play characters that are not easy peasy lemon squeezy, as someone said in the chat earlier. I have fucked with some characters that aren't great. 3 of them almost made me swear off a game forever. Man, Undernight was a tough nut for me to crack, and I still don't think I am that great at it, nor do I think I enjoy it all that much. But I will pick up Unicycle at some point. But so I dabble in top tiers, mostly play mid tiers, and then if I think a character is fun, I will stick with them regardless of tier. But otherwise, they might turn me off a game. Anyway, that was a very indulgent 20 minutes. We're way over budget on time. I'm just not realizing. But 6K, really? 6K? 6 out of my whole career? That's top tier? That's not good? I don't know if I agree. I think that's a pretty reasonable spread, personally. But yeah, so that was a very indulgent and self-reflective tier list. But that was one that I'd been thinking about for a while, just as a like get to know the host of the show. So that is my jam. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 characters that I forgot, and again, like I've played like Yatagarasu and Punch Planet and Third Strike, but I wouldn't say I have like a main in any of those or any meaningful insight. Even then, like I really didn't play Soul Calibur at a competitive level, but Nightmare's the homie.